and welcome to episode 15 of my Crochet and Knitting Podcast. So this is my space on the internet where I share all the crafty things I've been up to and what I've been working on. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sam and I live in Norwich in the east of England with my husband and my 2 boys. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. You can contact me on Instagram under Sam_Rainer88. And I do also have a Ko-fi shop as well. So if you wanted to support me over there, that would be much appreciated. I do also sell like knitting stitch markers, like the round ones. So yeah, if you wanted to support me that way, that would be great. So my podcast follows a typical format in where I share what I've been up to that's craft related, any finished items, if there are any, which there is. I'll also be sharing my whips, also known as works in progress, and any purchases and plans, if there are any, and also any upcoming plans and events that's craft related. So let's get on into the podcast. So what have I been up to? So on the 16th of August, I did attend an afternoon tea hosted by Blue Fern Yarns, and she had a pop-up shop by Nicola of Tea Cake and Make. And I always love these events. So I believe she started the first one last November, which was the first one I attended. I have only missed one, only because I was going on the Lay Family yarn retreat like the next week. So I didn't want to abandon my husband and the kids for 2 weeks running. I could have attended it, I guess, but you know, I wanted to be considerate. So I would have covered that in one of my weekly crafting vlogs, and I had such a lovely time. I did get a goodie bag, which I will be showing you later on in the podcast. But yeah, such a lovely day, and we had really good weather actually as well. I mean, it was in August, so you know, it's kind of expected. And then on the 19th of August was the opening day of Yarn in a Teacup, which is the new yarn shop and tea room in Norwich. So I have been a few times. I have attended a knit night, which, yeah, it was really nice. And it was really busy as well. So yeah, if you are local to the area, check out Yarn in a Teacup. They are on 2A Sprowston Road, which is just outside of Norwich. So yeah, it's a perfect place to go to have a cup of coffee with a cake or some sandwiches if you want to go for lunch, and then just sit, get your knitting out or crochet and just craft. And then on the 30th of August, I went to Barbara's Day Out with my friend Ellie. So yeah, she holds these events every month. So go onto her website, crafthousemagik.co.uk. She has a whole list of events that she runs every month. They aren't always in the same place, but if you go onto her website, she will have the dates and locations on there. So this one was at Ketteringham Hall. And yeah, such a gorgeous venue. They had the Orangery tea room like round the corner. And yeah, we had cream tea. Well, I had a sausage roll as well. But yeah, cream tea. And yeah, just sat, chatted, knit. It was great. I love doing things like that. And yeah, I would highly recommend if you are local to sort of Norfolk to attend one of her Barbara's Day Outs, because I really enjoy myself every time. So anyway, that's what I've been up to that's craft related. So next is finished items. So you might see that I am wearing one. So this is my Geddy tee. So it is all finished, but it's not blocked. And I have made the decision not to block it. I think I'll wear it just as it is. So yeah, this is the Geddy tee. Obviously you can only see the top portion at the moment. So I'll show you that and then I'll get a bit of a better angle for you. So yeah, this starts with the crochet panels you can see on the shoulders. So yeah, 2 granny squares with, I think there's like 6 rows altogether on both sides. They are not symmetrical, so I have sort of made them a little bit different on each side, which I think makes it, you know, quite nice actually. And then once you've done the crochet panels for the sleeves, you pick up for the back doing some short row shaping, which at the time I did kind of mess up on a little bit, so I did have to frog it and start again. But that doesn't matter. It was a good thing to happen, to be honest, because the way I had picked up the stitches on the crochet granny squares, it wasn't quite how I wanted it to be anyway. So when I done it the second time round, it was perfect, like to me anyway. So done the back panel, and then you picked up the front stitches on the granny squares to do like 2 panels. And then once you've done that, you literally, I think it's here where you joined to join in the round, and then from then it was just lovely stockinette stitch, which I love. It might be basic and boring to you, but I absolutely love that. Anyway, once that was done, you then come to the ribbing at the bottom, which is quite a big ribbing. I'll stand up. So you can see here, it's a bit of a chunky ribbing, but I like that. And it comes down to about here. So I really, really love the length of that. And then once you've done that, I picked up for the sleeves. So when I say picked up for the sleeves, it's literally just adding the ribbing to the bottom of the sleeve. There's no extra length that you add apart from the ribbing. And then once that was done, you literally picked up the neckline and then did the ribbing for that. So once I was at that part of the pattern, it just went really quickly, to be honest. So the Geddy tee, I don't think I mentioned, is by Tanis Lavelli, Tanis Fibre Arts. She does have a YouTube channel, and she actually has a tutorial to show you how to do the neckline, which I did refer to as a beginner knitter. But yeah, I love the way it's come out. I love the positive ease. So I chose to do the 48-inch bust. My bust is, I think it's 40 inches. So that would give me 8 inches of positive ease. But the pattern does call for 10 inches of positive ease, which is massive. But I have got quite a lot of positive ease, but you can only see that when I stretch it out. When I pull it down and stuff, you can see it's got positive ease, but you know, not that much. But I like things to be baggy. I don't like things clinging to my body. I don't know if that's a sensory thing for me, but I just love the fit of this. Yeah, I would definitely make one again, to be honest. But I've got loads of other patterns that I want to do first, so I won't be doing it anytime soon. So the yarn that I used, so for the granny squares, I used a mini set. I think it was the Mixtape Volume 4 minis from Craft House Magic. And as you can see, there's loads of like lovely blues in there. There was a pink skein as well. And I just love how these colours go together. I'll show you the other side. So yeah, I just loved how these colours turned out. And I paired it with this colour. So I think this is in the colourway Petrol Blue. This is by Lay Family Yarn, and it is, I want to say, 60% superwash merino, 20% yak and 20% silk. So this is so soft, and it was so lovely to work with. When I actually use like merino nylon now, you know, it feels a lot rougher. Yeah, I've just really been quite spoiled with this yarn, to be honest. But it's a gorgeous yarn to work with. This is a whole DK weight tee, so it's quite a thick tee. I wouldn't be wearing this in the height of summer, but we are in September now, so the weather's sort of turning just a little bit. It does surprise us every so often where we get, you know, a little bit of a hot day. But overall, you know, if there's a bit of a chill in the air, this is, you know, a great top to wear, to be honest. I'm probably going to wear this for the rest of the day, actually, because it's one of those days where it's not too hot, not too cold. It's like somewhere in between. So I am going to wear this. And this will be like a nice transitional piece to wear in the autumn. So yeah, I'm glad I've got this finished because I can wear it now. So overall, I haven't weighed it, but for the minis on the sleeves, I had quite a lot left of the set of minis that I used. So, you know, they'll obviously go in my scrap pile to use for a scrappy project. I don't know. I'm not normally like a scrappy project person, but I guess if the right project comes along and I've got enough nice yarn to use in it, you know, maybe that's what it'll be used for. And then for the main colour of the body, I do remember having 3 skeins of DK already in my stash, but I did find that I needed a little bit extra, so I didn't quite have enough, so I did have to make a separate purchase for another skein. So I used, I think I want to say 3.5 skeins of DK for the main colour, and then maybe half the amount of the mini skeins. So yeah, that is my finished Geddy tee. So next finished item that I wanted to show you were these crochet bunting. So I have not one, but 2. So yeah, I've made these. I wanted to have a go at making these crochet sort of triangle grannies, and then I thought, hang on, I could make these in the colour of my stepmom's yarn shop / tea room, and she could have them in her shop as decor. So yeah, that is where they'll be going. I haven't managed to gift them yet. So yeah, that is what they'll be used for. But anyway, I'll just talk you through it. So these are just a simple granny triangle, basically. It's something that I could do a tutorial on to show you how to do it if that's what you wanted. But yeah, it's ever so simple. Let me know down in the comments if you do want me to make a tutorial, and I'll add that to my list of never-ending video ideas. But the yarn that I used was Stylecraft Special DK, so it's 100% acrylic. So I used 2 colours for this. I used, I can't remember the colours, but this is like the dusky pink, and this is like a minty green. So yeah, I used both of these colours. Oh, hang on. I done a little bit of a chain, so you know she can attach it to somewhere, and then I simply done single crochets all the way along, and then I think it was like a chain 3 in between the triangles to, you know, give them a little bit of space in between each one. So yeah, ever so simple and very quick to work up, to be honest. But yeah, that will be as decor in Yarn in a Teacup. My next finished item, you would have seen in my last podcast as like a work in progress, but it is this baby blanket. So I'll just try and get it all in. There we go. So you can see how it starts with the pink and then it does end with the blue. So it's just a simple granny ripple blanket, or like granny ripple, yeah, granny ripple. So it's very simple, and I chose to do like a border. It's just 3 US double crochets in each hole along. So yeah, again, this is something that I could easily do a tutorial on, but let me know in the comments if this is something that you want to see, because I'll only do it if there's interest. You know, there's no point doing it if none of you are going to want to watch it. But I have made this for my nephew, because at the time we didn't know if we were having a niece or nephew. So he's been born now, and yeah, he's like 2 weeks old, and he's lovely. I got cuddles the other weekend, and yeah, he's just gorgeous. But anyway, I made this. I thought this would be fairly unisex because it's using like all the colours, you know. I know you've got fairly sort of girly colours here, but then you do have like boyish colours, you know, if you're going to be stereotypical about it. And then you've got fairly like neutral colours with the like orange and yellow. So yeah, I am really happy with that. And the yarn that I used was Yarn Smith's Merino DK. So it's 100% merino wool. It's superwash, so great for, you know, baby blankets and baby garments actually. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy with the size. So yeah, it's a perfect size for like a pram or a cot. Yeah, lovely. Just as long as you're following the safe sleep guidelines, putting their feet towards the end of the cot and then putting this over them. That way they can't slip under the blanket. That's just the nurse in me coming out. But anyway, that is a finished item. So now on to my whips, also known as works in progress. So my first one is living in this little grey girl bag. I purchased this from the East Anglian Yarn Festival earlier on in the year. They are doing it again next year, which is in March at the Norfolk Showground. So I'll show you the progress on my litmus cowl. So I haven't done much on this, but I did remember to put a stitch marker in last time I talked about it because I pulled it out last time and I just could not remember how much I'd done, if any. So I put the stitch marker in here and this is how much I've done. So I did actually work on this when I took it on my little weekend break to Butlins. I didn't actually talk about that in what I've been up to. Although it's not craft related, it's kind of like life related. But anyway, I went to Butlins for the weekend. I did cover it in one of my weekly crafting vlogs, but it didn't quite turn out how I expected it to. Yeah, we all come down with a sickness bug. So I went as a solo trip with my two boys. I left the husband at home. And yeah, we all got the sickness bug. So it turned out to be the holiday that I didn't really plan. Yeah. Anyway, I did take this along with me. It's nice, easy knitting because it's just stockinette stitch in the round. And this is how much I've done so far. So yeah, I won't talk too much about it because it's just one of them projects that I've got on the go that is nice, easy knitting. Oh, the yarn I'm using is again Yarn Smith's Merino DK. So 100% superwash merino, and yeah, I love it. So this is in DK. If you don't know the pattern, and this is the first podcast you've come across, the Litmus Cowl is a pattern by Jude Harper. And the original pattern is done in 4-ply, so I tweaked it a little bit so I could make it as a DK sort of cowl. So yeah, that's the progress of my litmus cowl. My next work in progress is the Right Around the Corner shawl, and that is living in my redesigned Project 9 bag. So I have made quite a bit of progress on this one. So I'll talk about the yarns. The yarns I'm using are by Lay Family Yarn, and yeah, this is one of them. And this is the other one. So it has got some variegation in this one. And this one is like a semi-solid, although it looks quite solid, the colour. But yeah, these are the two yarns that I've chosen to use together. They're both 4-ply. And the great thing about this pattern is that you use two skeins of 4-ply together to make this whole shawl. So if I show you what it looks like. So this is what it should look like, and at the moment I am on this portion of the shawl, although I use them as scarves. So yeah, how she's using it as a triangle scarf is how I will be using it. I'm not really one to wear things as shawls, so yeah, that is what it's supposed to look like at the end of it. So this is the progress. So as you can see, I have put a stitch marker in down here, and that is literally how much progress I've done. So I've practically doubled it, and I'm really happy with that. So yeah, I'm loving how these colours are working so well together. I did originally buy 2 skeins of 4-ply to use for this shawl, but there just wasn't enough contrast between them. I can't remember what colours they were. I think it was like a bit of a dark grey, and then the like blush pink, I think it was. It was a bit of a muted blush pink, and they just weren't really highly contrasted. So I chose these two in the end to do this shawl. And yeah, I'm absolutely happy with the progress. So once I've used half of each skein for this section, I then pick up stitches. I think it's along this portion here, so this top portion, which is relatively straight compared to the other part. But I think that's how it's supposed to look. Although blocking can, do wonders. But anyway, you pick up stitches along the top portion here, and then knit sort of like solid sections. But yeah, that is the progress of the right round the corner shawl. And currently, this is one of my easy knitting projects because it is a 2-row repeat. And yeah, it's just very easy, the 2 rows. If you're a beginner knitter like myself, I would highly recommend this pattern. It might look complicated when you like print out the pattern and look at it, because it kind of did to me for the first time. But once you sort of like have a look through the pattern and like whittle it down in stages, it's very, very simple. But yeah, I'm really liking working on this, as you can tell with the progress that I've made. So that was the Right Round the Corner shawl, and that is by Lisa Haynes. My next work in progress, which is also a new cast on, is my no frill sweater. So that is living in this redesigned Project 10 bag, which is actually a new purchase since my last podcast. I did say, I think it was in a weekly crafting vlog, that I wanted to get this bag because I wanted enough space to fit all of the skeins of yarn that I'd need for the no frill sweater. So I purchased this bag from Blue Fern Yarns because she is now a stockist of redesigned project bags. So yeah, go to her website and check it out if you are interested in getting something like this. She doesn't just do the Project 9 and 10s, she does other project bags in the redesigned range. So yeah, I'll show you the progress of my no frill sweater. So the no frill sweater is a pattern by Petite Knit, if you didn't know. And the yarn that I'm using is, I don't think I actually shoe it on the podcast last time because I had ordered it at the Summer Wool Festival and she had to dye it up for me because it was 6 skeins of DK yarn, so she didn't have that available for me to just purchase there at the show. But this is the colourway that I'm using. So this is in I think it's 100% merino. It's DK and it's by Creative Anarchy in the colourway LH44. So in this yarn you have, I don't know how well the colours are showing on camera, but you do have sort of like bits of moody purples, pops of like greens in there with the odd sort of grey speck, I guess. But I really am loving how this is turning out, and I'll show you exactly that. So this is the progress of the no frill sweater. So the no frill sweater is a basic raglan jumper, and that is exactly what I wanted on my needles as like my first autumn piece for knitting. And yeah, look at how them colours are turning out. So this is the front. I've done short row shaping at the back to, as you can see, it's brought up the neckline, so you know exactly where the front is to the back. And then if I show you the back, oh, look how that's knitting up. Oh, I love that. So I am doing something called helical knitting, and that is where you change like the yarn that you're using on each row. So currently I have 2 balls attached to the project. So each time I've done a round, I will slip the last 3 stitches before I get to the marker, drop that yarn that I was using, and then pick up the other ball of yarn that is attached, and then just start knitting with that. And because I've done that, there's been no pooling or anything, which you can get with hand-dyed yarn, but yeah, there's been none of that. And as you can see, it's looking, well, yeah, just lovely. So I did mess up a little bit. I am a beginner knitter, that's my excuse. So I'd never done helical knitting before, bear in mind, and I didn't quite know how to start it. So I have since learned that you actually start helical knitting after your short row shaping when you're in the round. So I wasn't in the round. With short row shaping, you go back and forth, don't you? And because I did start helical knitting in the short row shaping, yeah, my thumb's here. You can see I've got a few dodgy holes going on. I am going to sew these up, so you wouldn't even know. This is literally the back, so yeah, my hair's going to cover that anyway. I don't wear my hair up unless I'm at work, so you will never see that, and I don't mind. But anyway, I'll sew these back up. But after that, I was doing helical knitting, and as you can see, there's no pooling or anything. It's looking like absolutely lovely with the colours going through there. Yeah, I just love the moodiness of these colours. Yeah, I can't wait for this to be finished. Oh, love it. I wear a lot of dark colours. I mean, I know I'm wearing this, although the main colour of the body here is quite dark for a blue. But yeah, I love wearing dark colours. And if I was to add colour in, it would be mostly in an accessory. But I have used like a pop of colour in this garment. So I quite like how this is, with the pop of colour. But I do like my darker colours. That's that inner emo kid coming out. So yeah, I'll give you a little bit of a close-up of these colours. So yeah, you can see where I've got like purpley colours in there. There's lighter colours every so often. And then there's pops of green. Yeah, I really love how this is knitting up. I don't know how many times I've said that on this podcast. But yeah, if you didn't know, I really love how these colours are turning out. So yeah, it's a very basic raglan jumper. And with the raglan increases, she uses a make one right, make one left in hers. So yeah, that is currently the progress. And then my next work in progress is living in this Alice Wheeler bag. So I don't know when I show this. I think I would have shown this on a weekly. No, I did show it in the podcast last time. Yeah, but I have now since allocated a project to it. So yeah, if you haven't seen already, I did make a video on redesigned project bag dupes, and this is one of them. So when I was doing my research, I come across this one and I had to have it. I mean, yeah, it's leopard print. If you're a regular viewer of mine, you know I like a leopard print. So yeah, I had to have this, and it is a little bit smaller than the redesigned Project 9. So not much, just a little bit. Yeah. So anyway, in this project bag is Living the Flax Pullover by Tin Can Knits. So I'll show you the progress of that. That is another new cast on. So this is a jumper for my 5-year-old son. He has chosen the colour of the yarn. Little disclaimer, I saw on Instagram that Drops were having a sale. Now I went on to Wool Warehouse and the sale was for the merino range that they do. So they had the Drops Baby Merino, which is the yarn that I used in my Tolster tee, and I loved working with that. So I wanted another sort of garments quantity to use for a garment, obviously. So I went on there, I had a look, and I made a purchase or two. So I'd asked my son what colour jumper he'd like because I wanted to knit one for him, and he said red. So I went through the colours. I mean, I think they only had one really nice red, and he chose that one. And this is the colour he's gone for. So yeah, it's a really nice sort of red wine sort of colour. So Drops Baby Merino, you get 175 metres per 50 grams. So this is a 50-gram ball, and it is 100% merino. It is a sport weight yarn as well. So the pattern that I've chosen to use for the jumper was the Flax Pullover by Tin Can Knits, and it is a free pattern, which is great. And they have many different yarn weights. So they do a flax worsted, a flax sock, and a flax DK. So I have gone with the flax sock / sport. That is what it's labelled as. And because it is, I was like, okay, well, I'll use the sport weight yarn, the Drops Baby Merino. So I'll show you the progress on the flax pullover. So it's currently bunched up on these 16-inch needles. So I'll try and show you the best I can. But that is the progress. So this has been so easy. I have made one of these before for my nephew. I knit it in a grey colour in the 0 to 6 month size. That's another thing great about this pattern. It goes from baby size all the way to like a large adult, really. Well, more than large. I think, is it 5XL? But yeah, it's very inclusive and it's a free pattern. Like, it's great. So yeah, that is the progress. It is, again, a basic raglan jumper, and I will show you how the raglan increases are looking, because this is a little bit of a different construction, I guess you can call it, than the no frill sweater, because again, that is a raglan jumper. It's just this one. So where you can see the raglan increases here, that is a knit front back, which I find much easier. So yeah, that is looking very nice, to be honest. This is a smaller size than my no frills sweater, and also the yarn is a bit thinner as well. So with those two in mind, they might take the same amount of time. I don't know. But yeah, I'm loving how this is turning out, and I think this will make quite a nice festive jumper, to be honest with you. Yeah, it'll definitely be done by Christmas. I mean, we're in early September at the minute. But yeah, I love that. It looks quite small at the moment, but as I said, it is bunched up on these 16-inch needles. I think it does say for this size to use like a slightly bigger cable eventually. I'm at the part in the pattern where I'm doing a raglan increase row and then a plain knit row. So I've got a little bit more of that to do before I split for the sleeves. But yeah, I'm loving the progress on this, and I love a nice simple knit. So they were all my works in progress that I've been working on. I do obviously have a few works in progress that I haven't been working on, which is 2 blankets. One is a Minecraft blanket and one is a Battenberg blanket. So it's just a case of like joining the squares together. And yeah, I've not really been motivated to do that, so I haven't worked on it. It will get done, but yeah, another time. So I haven't actually got any crochet on the go. Just knitting. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. Yeah, I used to be predominantly like a crocheter. Then I learned how to knit in January. So yeah, I've been knitting for 8 months now. So yeah, and I'm really happy with how my knitting has turned out. I've loved reading all your comments saying how neat my knitting is. Yeah, it's just nice to have that sort of feedback, because yeah, I don't know if it's neat or not. And when I do get that feedback, it warms my heart. Thank you. And just in general, reading your comments, I love all that, and I try and reply where I can. Sometimes I get a lot of comments and I can't quite keep up, especially if I'm working, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, I do read all of your comments and I really appreciate it. So they were all my works in progress. Now moving on to any purchases and plans with those purchases. So obviously I said I went to the afternoon tea that Blue Fern Yarns hosted. So I did order a goodie bag. So I'll show you what I got in that. So this was the leaflet that we got for the afternoon tea. And this was the pop-up by Nicola of Tea Cake and Make. And in the goodie bag, we got this candle. Very cute. And then we got a coordinating trinket dish. So yeah, I thought that was quite nice. But the most important thing was the yarn. So this was the yarn that was dyed up exclusively for this afternoon tea, and this is in the colourway Beautiful. tea full. I love that play on words. But yeah, and I love these colours. As soon as I opened it, I was like, oh, Shannon, you have done a great job. So yeah, the teals, all the teals with like pops of purple. Yeah, I love that. I don't know what I'm going to make with this, but as I always say, this will be stash enhancement. So I can pair that with something else in my stash when the time comes. When I'm going through my stash to look for inspiration for certain patterns. Yeah, this is on this classic sock base, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And you get 425 meters per 100 grams. So yeah, because I like these sort of colours, I've most likely got something in my stash that would go with this, depending on the project, obviously. But yeah, that was the skein of yarn that we got in the goodie bag. And also Nicola from Tea Cake and Make had a little pop-up, so I did make a few purchases from her. So this is the little bag that I got from Nicola. This was one of their like smaller like popper bags. So these are just poppers. I have put a little project in here. So I do want to get my sock mojo back. And these were the original skeins of yarn that I was using for the first sock that I did, that didn't quite go to plan. If you remember, my first sock had a bit of a pointy toe. So I want to have a go at making the second sock, but properly this time. So anyway, I've put all the yarn in here and the needles, and yeah, it just fits perfectly in this bag. So yeah, that I think that was only £10, which is a really good price, to be honest. And I loved the fabric that she used as well. She had loads of different fabrics that were all gorgeous. But yeah, that is the little bag that I got. I also purchased a little notions pouch in this cute polka dot fabric. So yeah, it's got a little like clasp here, so you can attach it to like a project bag or something. I've just got mine sitting in my redesigned project 10 because it has got a few notions in here. So I've put the needle for the cable, you know, to tighten it. And I've also put in, oh, another thing that I got from Nicola was this cute little macaron case, and it's got bulb pin stitch markers in it. So yeah, I've just literally, so it opens like that. So I've got that living in there. And yeah, it's a nice notions pouch. It fits quite a bit in, to be honest. But that is currently for my no frills sweater, in case I need any stitch markers. So that's what I got from Tea Cake and Make, Nicola. Because Nicola doesn't do yarn, Shannon did take some of her yarn with her. So I obviously had a look, didn't I? And I did buy a few skeins of yarn. So I'll show you the first one. I have shown these in my weekly craft and vlog. So I'll show them if you only watch my podcast. So yeah, this is actually quite washed out. But anyway, this is in the colourway Purple Quartz. It's a classic DK base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. You get 225 meters per 100 grams. And I purchased this. So you're thinking it's probably a little bit light for me, which it is on its own, but I do have a skein of her colourway Amethyst in DK. So I thought this would look quite nice with that. Because at the pop-up, she did have a skein of Amethyst next to this one. And I thought they go really nicely together. And then I remembered I already have the colourway Amethyst. So I thought I'll get this one and I compare it with that to make something. I don't know what, but it's nice to have the option for something that goes with another skein of yarn. So yeah, this is what I got. It's basically like quite a natural sort of undertone with little muted bits of purple and just lovely speckling in there as well. And then I did get another skein of yarn, and this is the one that I got. So yeah, look, you can see the drape on that. So this is in the colourway Antarctic, It's on the shimmer 4-ply base. So that is 50% superwash merino and 50% silk. So yeah, it is lovely and soft, like so soft. And the reason I got this was I was thinking of doing like a 4-ply cowl, and next to my neck, this is so soft, and because it's got winter vibes written all over that, hasn't it, with these sort of blue colours. So yeah, that is what that will become. And I've never made a 4-ply cowl before. I have done a DK crochet cowl, but I probably will do the same pattern but in 4-ply. Yeah, who knows? But it'll definitely be some sort of neckwear, because yeah, next to my neck, that is just lovely. And I am a little bit of a princess when it comes to things against my neck. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, you would have seen that I did previously knit a Sophie shawl, and the yarn that I used was, I think it was something like 90% acrylic and 10% alpaca. Now this yarn was lovely until I wore the shawl. I wore it as a scarf, and when I took it off, I had such a red rash. I was feeling a little bit of a prickle, and yeah, I couldn't wear it. So yeah, I am a bit of a princess when it comes to yarn. So I only go for the really nice yarn, or you know, if I am using acrylic, it's just going to be 100% acrylic. Or I do have acrylic with like 10% merino in it as well. I just have to be mindful of yarns with maybe alpaca in it. Although saying that, I have not tried yarns, you know, like hand-dyed yarns that use alpaca in it, because it's baby alpaca. So I don't know if that's different. I need to find out, because when I hold the yarns that has alpaca in it at yarn shows, it's just lovely and soft, and I want to buy it, but I don't want to buy it because I'm thinking, will I get the same rash as I did with the Sophie shawl, like with the yarn that I used? So the yarn that I used in the Sophie shawl was by James C. Brett, and it was the Aztec Aran with alpaca. And as I said, it was only 10% alpaca, although it wasn't labelled as baby alpaca, so maybe it was a little bit more rough. I don't know, but anyway, since then I've stayed clear of anything like that. Although I do have a sweater's quantity which has mohair, like held with mohair, and I've never tried mohair either, so that could potentially be a fail. Although, yeah, I bought it from Along avec Anna at the East Anglian Yarn Festival. I've not worked with it yet, but it's lovely yarn, and it's a lovely garment that I want to make with it. But I am going to have to be quite cautious with that one. Yeah. So anyway, I went on a bit of a tangent there. This will become neckwear because I am a princess. So my next purchase, if we're going in chronological order, they were my first purchases. Well, yeah, they were purchases. And then the second purchase was when I went to Yarn in a Teacup. So for their opening day, I left this right till the last minute, can I just add, because yeah, where I was sitting, I was facing like all the hand-dyed yarn. So I was facing Ellie's from Craft House Magics and Shannon from Blue Fern Yarns, and I kept seeing two particular colours that were right next to each other, and I kept saying, oh, don't they look lovely together? Oh, they'd make a nice stripy tee. And I did buy them. I mean, look at them, they go so well together. So that is my plan. It is to do a stripy tee. So I'll show you the yarns individually. So this one here is on the classic sock base. That's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And this is in Shannon's colourway Ink. So yeah, it's just a lovely dark semi-solid navy blue. And to go with that, I picked up this one. So this one, same base, the classic sock base, 4-ply, and this is in the colourway Undertow. So yeah, it's a lovely variegated like blue with all the speckles, and as I said, I thought they went really nicely together to make a stripy tee. So I've got a few stripy tees in mind. So one is by Tanis Lavelli, and that, I think it's called the Rocket Tee or the Rock Pop Pullover. No, I'll put a picture up here. So this is the t-shirt that I have in mind, and it just requires 2 skeins of 4-ply. So yeah, that is something that I'll have a go at, probably next year, because it is a tee, like a 4-ply tee. Although I'm getting quite a lot of stash for tees at the moment. Yeah, I need to up my game and buy more sweater quantities really in DK. Although, you know, that is more expensive. This is like a more affordable way of buying skeins of yarn for a project. You know, 2 skeins of 4-ply for a t-shirt, that's what, like around £40, which ain't too bad. And then because I was one of the first 20 people to buy yarn, I got this in a little gift bag. So yeah, this was from the Yarn in a Teacup. And yeah, just a little gift, little stitch marker attached to a mini skein. And then my next purchase was from the Wool Factory. Now, I have not shown this on any of my videos. It just must have like slipped my mind to show it. But I did go to Butlins for a little weekend break in Skegness, which didn't go to plan. But anyway, before we went there, we stopped off at the Wool Factory, which is in Skegness. Now, this is a massive room full of yarn. Like, they've got so much to choose from. But anyway, I purchased these 2 massive balls of yarn. So this is by the brand Woolcraft Aran Knitting. So yeah, it's 100% acrylic and it's in the colourway Kingfisher. So that's exactly what it is. It's a lovely sort of dark tealy blue. Oh, one of my hairs. So I purchased 2 balls of this because, hang on, it's not 100% acrylic, 75% acrylic and 25% new wool. I've never seen that before. Okay, not just wool, it's new wool. Let me show you. There we go. So yeah, okay, that's the composition. So you get 400 grams and that is about 800 meters. So I've got 1600 meters here to do something with. What I was thinking was, so I have seen a cardigan. I am going to share this in my autumn knitting plans video, but I have seen a cardigan that is a bit of a mixed media sort of cardigan. So it's got crochet panels. I'll move over. I'll show you the picture. So it has got some crochet on there, as well as knitting. So, and this cardigan looks like beautiful. It looks really nice. So I got that yarn to potentially use in this project, because it's Aran weight. Although, I mean, this is quite a thick Aran. I just hope that it doesn't end up like quite bulky. Yeah. Anyway, I purchased these 2 for that cardigan. So these were quite cheap and cheerful actually. I want to say it was about £12 each per ball. Bear in mind you get 400 grams each, you know, on each ball. So yeah, that is what they'll potentially become. So the next purchase, you would have seen the red Drops Baby Merino, but I did buy some others as well. So yeah, I bought a whole bag full. I've got some more yarn for that jumper, but I have purchased these 2 colours for my own flax pullover. So I am going to do a pink and black, like chunky striped. So yeah, gives us a bit of a punk rock sort of vibe. That's the vibe I'm going for anyway with this jumper. So yeah, these are the 2 colours and they are going to be chunky striped. I'm not going to go into these because I've told you the composition of the red one. So for my size, I did get 6 of the pink and 6 of the black. I think I only need 10 balls in total. I got 1 ball extra in each colour just to make sure. Nobody likes yarn chicken, do they? And then the very last purchase was this. So this is actually supposed to be a wash bag. This is from Lucy and Yak, and they do the most lovely leopard print, like clothing, bags, yeah, socks. I have a pair of Lucy and Yak socks in this print as well. But anyway, I saw this on a little bit of a shopping trip the other day, and I thought this is a perfect size for a project bag. So that is exactly why I purchased it. Not going to use it as a wash bag, but I will use it as a project bag. This is actually, yeah, it's actually like, you know, wash bag material inside. So I guess it'll protect your yarn. But yeah, purchased that. So they were all my purchases and plans. I feel like I've gone through this quite quickly, but I don't want it to be too long. So anyway, next is any upcoming plans and events that's craft related. So the next one that I have is actually this Sunday coming. So that'll be Sunday the 14th of September. And that is Social Stitches Seaside Sunday. Bit of a mouthful. So that's an event that is run by Venetia's Yarn Shop in Fakenham, Norwich. And yeah, it's basically you go along, you get to have a look at the upcoming yarn that she's got coming out, which I believe she hand dyes herself, but we get first look of that, followed by a buffet lunch, and we get to knit and natter. So yeah, that I think it's run from 11 till 4. So yeah, a whole day of crafting, which is nice. So yeah, I've got a few projects that I can take along that's at the stage of nice, easy knitting. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And then at the end of the month, I think it's the 27th and 28th of September, I am going to Yarndale. So this is the very first time I've been to Yarndale. That is a yarn festival in Skipton in North Yorkshire. So I'm getting the train up on the Friday before. I want to say it takes about 4 hours, so that's 4 hours of knitting time. Great. So from Norwich, I have got like, I think it's 2 changes. Yeah, I think it's 2 changes on the train. So when I get there, I've got a little Airbnb booked, which I think it's an apartment or a flat. I'm not sure, but that is in Skipton. And I have been given a recommendation from Shannon of Blue Fern Yarns that the Curious Fox is a nice place to eat. So yeah, who knows? I might be going there for dinner. And then on the Saturday and the Sunday, I have a whole weekend ticket for Yarndale because I've looked at the vendor list and there are lots. I mean, way more than like East Anglia Yarn Festival and the Summer Wool Festival, which are the only 2 yarn festivals I've been to. But yeah, I want to be able to at least try each yarn festival once. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that weekend. And I do hope to meet up with Ali from This Little Wonderful Life and Little Drops of Wonderful. So she's got 2 YouTube channels. One is more crafty and the other one's like more lifestyle. She's going along with Suzanne from Green Lampkin Yarns. So yeah, that'll be nice to meet the both of them. I've seen them on my screens for, you know, quite a while now, but that would be nice to just meet up in person and have a little chat. So yeah, as I said, looking forward to that weekend. Now, purchases. So I am notoriously known to spend quite a lot when I go to a yarn festival. So before I go, I am going to make a list, as I have done the last couple of times. I am going to make a list of like potential patterns in mind and potential yarn dyers that I want to, you know, visit that I haven't done before. So one of them is Stephen and Penelope. So I don't have to go to Amsterdam to visit them. They're coming to the UK. So they're going to be at Yarndale. And because it's at the end of September, I believe it's the 2nd of October, Stephen West actually starts his mystery knit along, which is called the Musicale this year. He has just shared it on his YouTube channel about the mystery knit along, and I'm very tempted this year. I am still only a beginner knitter. I have not sort of indulged in, every sort of stitch that you can do in knitting. Now, Stephen West shawls, some look very simple, but some, they look amazing, but they look very complicated. And because it's a mystery knit along, you have no idea what sort of stitches he's going to be using. And yeah, that's a little bit daunting to me. But I am very tempted to have a go this year, even if it's just to learn. He does provide YouTube videos on each of the stitches, so I think maybe I will have a go. And because they're there at Yarndale, I might potentially buy some yarn from them to use in the mystery knit along. So who knows? Watch this space. I might potentially, although if I don't like the feel of the yarn, I will just go to a yarn dyer that I know and that I love their colours. Who knows? Watch this space. I don't know yet. So I think that's all the plans and events that I've got coming up this month. So that comes to the end of my podcast. Thank you so much for watching if you have made it this far. If you have, please leave me a yarn ball emoji, because this channel is all about yarn and crafting, and leave me a comment down below to let me know what you're working on, and if you're going to Yarndale, let me know in the comments down below. And if you do see me about, do say hi. I don't bite. And it's always nice to see viewers as well, because at the end of the day, I'm only reading comments. It's nice to put like a face to a name. I have met so many subscribers recently at various events, and it's always nice to chat and put a face to a name. So anyway, enough of that waffling. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.